Hola, it's April 1st, and was able to pick up my son Michael from Newark Airport in from Frankfurt. And we went to see my Uncle Frank from, not Uncle Frank, my Uncle Paul, with my brother Richard, my older brother Richard. And that was a nice visit, and now we're back here. Sometime during today, no comments from the peanut gallery, okay? I'm doing a YouTube. Sometime today I was out shopping for some stuff, and I had an epiphany, and I was wondering about the whole concept of liberating all these dictatorships, especially in the Middle East, but not specifically in the Middle East. And I think it's kind of interesting that there's this rash of desire from the people to have everybody have freedom, when back in the Persian Gulf War, everybody was saying that that these same people did not know what democracy was, didn't want democracy, or they're happier the way it was, etc., etc., etc. And yet, right now, the people are being programmed to accept the fact that these people are yearning to be free. And even though we can see that a lot of the 40% of the troops that are going into Libya, that we are in a sense supporting, happen to be Al Qaeda linked. But when you think about it, all these dictatorships, they really don't have. They're not good business partners with the banks. I don't think they're not good business partners with the free enterprise system, in the sense of the banks giving everybody credit cards so they can run up debt and pay usurious rates, offering people things that they almost in an addiction type way need, that they never needed before. Not to say that these things aren't good, but it almost seems like there's a driving force by the world community to look for a greater market. The market on the, quote, free world has more or less stagnated. The free world is basically broke. And yes, we will continue to buy more crap from China, the United States, and other markets are opening up. But the situation economically is so bad worldwide that we have to have, so that the whole thing doesn't collapse. It's like a cancer; it has to keep growing until it kills its victim. And it seems that we have this desire, a driving force, to free these people, so that we can exploit them from the standpoint of the way the average American's in debt because he's buying crap that he never needed, but had to have. He was convinced he had to have through marketing. And I guess what they want to do is use the same techniques that they've successfully taken the Americans and Europe and driven them into a consumer-driven situation where they feel compelled to buy this or that for their kids, so their kids don't freak out, so their kids don't feel like they're underprivileged. It just seems that there's something big going on, and it could be almost an act of desperation to keep this whole pyramid scheme going. I haven't totally thought this out as completely as I would like to do before I would be espousing some theories on this, but it's just a theory. It's something that just came to me today, as to the fact that we are on this course to generate really not so much democracies, but access of the banks, the financial institutions, and the other people who are trying to get market growth, as the rest of the world is is dying. I mean, look at Japan. Has been set back a real blow. It's going to take years to recover. A lot of those people won't even be able to afford to buy back or get what they're going to get. The insurance companies are going to be, totally destroyed. And of course, in the United States, there are people out there who still want to make our energy more expensive, make us less competitive. They want to enhance the environmental regulations so that it costs more and more to produce widgets, whereas China is totally left alone to pollute at will. As far as I know, there's no environmental groups pointing the finger at China. The fact, I think that 30% of the pollution in California emanates from China. Just the pollution from the ships that go back and forth between California and China, it represents a tremendous amount of energy that's being used, a tremendous amount of environmental damage. But apparently, like I said, China can do no wrong. They can do no wrong in terms of civil rights. They can kill people. They can harvest organs. And there's no one here saying, there's not one religious group, there's not one environmental group saying we should boycott Chinese products. It's only maybe a few right-wing people who feel, love for God and country that feel we should be buying American, but yet you can't buy American because virtually everything of significance other than Caterpillar tractors is being made overseas. In fact, Caterpillar tractors, who Obama was saying they're the good example of what you can do in the United States, they're thinking about moving out. They're having some real tough situations, and that China will buy some Caterpillar products and they'll re-engineer them and reverse engineer them, and they'll start producing them for half of what they could buy them for here. That's what they've been doing since they started this program. And my hats off to them for doing what they're doing. The Chinese government apparently has more vision, more focus, more resolve than the American government. We just continue to go in debt. We are spending more and more. We haven't done one thing to really improve our economy or improve our economic situation. All the savings that we're talking about cutbacks, we've just blown in trying to prop up these questionable people in Libya, and then we're going to end up rebuilding it. Remember what Colin Powell said, you break it, now you bought it. And we've done a hell of a lot of damage in Libya that we're going to be expected to repair, just like we're repairing this damage in Iraq and every other place that we went to. But once again, I'd like to stress that we're fighting the Taliban, we're fighting Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, Iraq. They're still killing our troops, and yet we're supporting Al-Qaeda troops who are fighting against Gaddafi. In fact, the Muslim Brotherhood has already won apparently some elections in Egypt, which apparently they're like going to be 70% now of the political force in Egypt, and this must make Israel very, very nervous. In fact, so nervous that it's rumored or reported several places on the internet that they supported 50,000 troops, mercenaries, to help Gaddafi withstand this crazy onslaught that the Americans and now NATO is backing. I understand Obama has pulled back its planes, and maybe he got the message from Israel that they're very serious about this. Basically, Kennedy didn't take Israel seriously enough. There's a lot of theory that this unsolved Kennedy assassination might have been very complex. I know they implicated the mafia, the Cubans, and all that, but it seems to me that JFK had a lot of things he was demanding, two basic things he was demanding from Israel, and they were vehement that they weren't going to acquiesce to JFK, and JFK was vehement that he was not going to let off this thing, and that the Justice Department and everybody else was hounding Israel, and as a result, nothing had changed. Israel was the last man standing. So it could be that Obama's interest in disarming the world with nuclear weapons does not really fall in good graces with Israel, because that's all Israel has to survive. That's the only thing that his adversaries are going to respect. And now, some of these adversaries are really hell-bent to get those virgins in the afterlife by blowing themselves up and taking whatever else they can. I mean, it seems to me that if someone's willing to sacrifice their lives to blow up a bus and kill 20 people, if they could detonate a nuclear device and kill 1 million people or 10 million people, they probably would be more motivated to do that and really please Allah. So, I mean, those are wild things. But anyhow, getting back to this theory as far as the need to liberate these markets so that the capitalists can get in there and get some spin on it, I think is worth thinking about and exploring. I'm sure there's a lot of holes and gaps in this thought, but human nature being what it is, and marketing being what it is, that they can basically convince people to do almost anything. We see this with the news on how they villainized Bush for going into Iraq and Afghanistan, and now the same media is making a saint out of Obama for liberating the people in Libya. Now, this is the same press, the same media. I've seen a little more critical thinking on this initially, but I think everybody's trying to get in line to not upset the great Obama, Chairman Obama as I call him, on this whole thing. And we'll see what happens. I have to read a little more about this no more American planes, quote, flying in this operation yet. I think a lot of the NATO planes are probably U.S.-made planes, whether they're U.S. pilots. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really research this thing. I'm just very happy to have my son back for a week from Germany, and for my mom's 99th birthday. My brother Richard's here. My sister will be down. Both sisters will be up. My other brother will be here, so we'll be back together again. And so it's been a good day. We had a little snow. It all melted. Never really set. And so I'm a very, very content man, and I'm a little less worried about the world events for the moment, because it's nice to have family around. My daughter will be here on the 5th, and this will be a very memorable time. And I think I got my taxes done, so they'll be going out on time. And that's about it. So just think about this whole opening up new markets, and to what extent the United States could be pressured to open up those markets. Which leads me back to Taiwan. Who knows? Maybe China will go democratic by the time they have the inkling to take over Taiwan or reunite them with the mainland China. I don't know if the capitalists have their way. Who knows? But I think this is beyond that. This is just greedy bankers wanting a pound of flesh. Okay, remember what I told you before? Stay healthy and eat your greens. Bye-bye.